Alright, welcome back and thanks for tuning in, all my kings and queens. And hey, all my haters, how y'all doing out there? Alright, so we got a news flash for your ass. Harvey Weinstein, you are everywhere. I'm trying to find something, and nigga, you just popping up on everything. You on my girl Wendy Williams show. You on Tucker Carlson. You on Dateline Private Tonight. I'm just forecasting that for the future, which is most likely gonna come true. You're on entertainment. God damn, boy, you done really fucked up. You on E. You just ridiculous. So I type in Weinstein exposed. Man, you on Paris Hilton blog. Well, they talk about you saying a lot of shit, my nigga. I don't know what's wrong with you. Seriously, you fucking up. Letting those demons get to you and that money, huh? Okay, in response to these allegations, he has decided to put out a statement. He said, I came of age in the 1960s and 70s when all the rules about behavior in workplaces were different. That was the culture then. I have since learned it is not an excuse in the office or out of it to anyone. I realized some time ago that I needed to be a better person, and my interactions with people, the work I work, and have changed. This nigga. Though I'm trying to do better, I know I have a long way to go. This is my commitment, my journey, now to learn about myself and conquer my demons. Over the last year, I asked Lisa Bloom to tutor me, and she's put together a team of people. I brought on therapists, and I plan to take a leave of absence from my company to deal with this issue head on. I so respect all women and regret what happened. I hope my actions will speak louder than words, and that one day we'll be able to earn their trust and sit down together with Lisa to learn more. Nigga, are you gotta be out of your motherfucking mind? Well, it's such a coincidence that this motherfucker decided to quote Jay-Z's 444 CD lyrics. Now that shows how much we can really trust a man that can't even give out his own real comment. He got to sit there and talk about somebody else's lyrics. Okay, well, let's just talk about Jay-Z, what he wrote. Jay-Z wrote in 444, I am not the man I thought I was, and I better be that man for my children. The same is true for me. I want a second chance in the community, but I know I got to work to do to earn it. I have goals that are new priorities now. Trust me, this isn't an overnight process. I've been trying to do this for 10 years, and it's a wake-up call. I cannot be more remorseful about the people I hurt and plan to do right by all of them. So funny. The powerhouse then went to vow to channel its time to energy in taking down the NRA. So, you really, after what you done, want to talk about the NRA? Let me tell you something. I suggest you just better fucking go into your mansion or into your fucking bunker and just consider it a day. How about that? Because, nigga, that ain't gonna happen. Alright? Well, let's see, you done paid off Mr. Harvey Weinstein, paid off sexual harassment accusers for decades. Yep, I am looking at the New York Times. Yeah, ain't nobody taking your ass back, boy. Consider you a loss.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. The scandal swirling around Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein has moved from the tabloids to the political pages tonight, and for good reason. There's no debate about Weinstein's behavior, no gray areas or room for conflicting interpretations. According to a new account in the New Yorker magazine, at least 13 separate women claim that Weinstein sexually assaulted or harassed them between 1990 and 2015. 4 say he masturbated in front of them. 3 accuse him of rape. Weinstein hasn't denied any of it. Indeed, the New Yorker has released tape in which he apparently confesses.
I'm telling you right now.
What do we have to do here?
Nothing. I'm going to take a shower and you sit there and have a drink. Water.
Don't drink. Can I stay on the bar?
No, you must come in now.
No.
Please.
I don't want to.
I'm not doing anything with you.
I'm sorry. I did not. No, yesterday was a kind of aggressive for me. I need to know a person.
I won't do a thing.
I don't.
Please, I swear I won't. Just stick with me. Don't embarrass me in the hotel. I'm here all the time.
I'm feeling very comfortable right
He's
now.
coming now. And 1 minute. And if you want to leave when the guy comes with my
Why
jacket,
yesterday you touched my wrist?
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that.
But are you used to that?
Yes, come in.
Not all accusations of sexual harassment are real. This one is. But the bigger scandal is the reaction to it, or the lack of reaction. Harvey Weinstein isn't just a movie producer, he's a political figure on the left, a major donor to the Democratic Party, a personal friend to countless liberal activists and politicians, all of which helps explain why the reaction from self-described defenders of women has been so muted. For the days after the story broke, Democrats in Hollywood and Washington seemed to freeze, unsure of what to say, hoping the whole thing would just die down and go away. It hasn't. Those actors who lecture you from the Oscar podium every year about their virtue and your lack of it, suddenly silent. Hillary Clinton traveling on a book tour whose whole purpose is to call out sexism in American society. She said not a single word about our old friend Harvey Weinstein for 5 full days. The truth is, Weinstein could never have gotten away with any of this without enablers like Hillary Clinton and the rest of the so-called creative community in Hollywood. They knew about his behavior. It was common knowledge in that world. The New York Times came close to running a story about Weinstein's harassment more than a decade ago, but pulled back at the last minute under political pressure, which tells you a lot. None of this was a well-kept secret. It now seems clear that hundreds of people knew or suspected what Weinstein was doing, but stayed silent about it. That should not surprise us because it is hardly the first time it's happened. Director Roman Polanski raped a child and fled the country, but that didn't stop him from getting work in Hollywood, nor did it stop Hollywood from giving him an Oscar for Best Director in 2003. A few years later, Harvey Weinstein himself led a petition asking the authorities to cut Polanski a break. That petition was signed by more than 70 prominent Hollywood figures. Meanwhile, Woody Allen has been dogged by sexual abuse allegations for decades, but that's done nothing to slow his steady output of films starring Hollywood's top actors. Once again, one of Woody Allen's biggest defenders was, take a guess, Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein told the LA Times in 1994 that Allen's scandals were basically irrelevant because he was, quote, a comic genius. Now, isolated incidents happen, but this is a trend. Sexual abuse is epidemic in Hollywood. The people in charge have covered it up and made excuses for it, in each case protecting the powerful from the powerless and the abused. It is time for the federal government to get involved. The Department of Justice should launch an immediate investigation into Hollywood's culture of systematic sexual abuse. There's ample precedent for this. Under the Obama administration, the Department of Education launched more than 300 investigations into schools across the country, ranging from Harvard all the way down to Cisco Junior College. All of them sought to expose and punish schools it said violated federal law by enabling cultures of sexual harassment and assault. The Department of Defense, meanwhile, has spent years trying to root out sexual assaults in the armed services. When Jerry Sandusky's crimes were exposed at Penn State, the federal government launched not one, but 2 investigations into the failure of the school to discover and report his abuse. For years, Democratic senators have taken the lead in condemning institutional sexual abuse. They've held hearings, press conferences, issued statements. Now, because one of their own donors has been accused, they are silent. But there's no reason this ought to be a partisan issue. Democrats in Congress say they care about women. Now we'll see if they mean it.
Well, every single woman who now has the courage to come forward about Weinstein owes Donald Trump, the man they hate, the man they demonize, the man they did all they could to defeat, a huge thank you, because without his election, there is no Time story. Nope. And they do not have the ability to openly say the truth about Weinstein. And I suggest a suggestion for every one of those news media on the right should remain to remind them of the facts each and every single day. Now, I also have a question for the Hollywood left and feminists. Even if it meant that Harvey Weinstein was not exposed and would still be preying on women, do you wish Hillary Clinton had won 2016 instead of Trump? And why? And it better be a good reason. Because you know what? Without Donald Trump, y'all motherfuckers in Hollywood still getting pooped up the ass, still be sucking his dick just to get cast on a motherfucking movie. Let's keep it real on this.
Harassment here, you know, I know not just women watch, you know, our show. Men watch also, but I'm speaking to the women now. You know how it is being a woman in this world. We get ripped off by the mechanic. The plumber comes to our house and tries to stick us up. We apply for a job and they're like, unbutton one button. It's horrible. However, I enjoy being a girl. I do. So now the New Yorker magazine has released an expose yesterday claiming that Harvey has raped or assaulted 13 plus women. Well, that's not a good luck number. The story was written by Ronan Farrow. Now, Ronan, who used to work at MSNBC, is a journalist by career, but also the son of Mia Farrow and allegedly Woody Allen, although I squint and I see Frank Sinatra. And you remember Mia and Frank did date back in the day. Not saying anything, just saying I see no Woody Allen in this fine-looking young man. Anyway, so in the article, Ronan reveals that one woman in the article is Ambra Gutierrez. Now, she's a hot model, and she got Harvey on tape back in 2015, harassing her. Now, mind you, this Harvey guy, all right, he says that, you know, back in the day, when he was coming of age, it was almost acceptable to treat women a certain way. Ladies, you understand? Give us thigh gappers and make us do stuff and whatnot. Okay, I don't believe it from back then, and I definitely am wondering why it is, if you're talking about back in the day, you haven't straightened up your act so you wouldn't have harassed this girl in 2015. Okay, now you all can't with your oohs and ahs, okay? This is audio tape only. You've got to listen very closely, because what she did, she was harassed by him. But instead of going along with the harassment in maybe landing a role, she went right to the NYPD. Oh, now hold on now. Now they called in Joni, who mics me. No, they didn't call in Joni, but they called in a microphone person and put that mic down here, like on Columbo, and sent her back to the scene of the crime, allegedly. And she said all the right stuff. You gotta listen close, no oohs, no ahs. Pin drop, and go.
I'm telling you right now.
What do we have to do here?
Nothing. I'm gonna take a shower. You sit there and have a drink. Walk.
Don't drink. Can I stay on the bar?
No, you must come here now.
I'm sorry, I
No, come in.
yesterday was a kind of aggressive for me. I need to know a person
I
to be
won't
touched.
do a thing.
I don't.
Listen, please, I swear I won't. Just stick with me. Don't embarrass me in the hotel. I'm here all the time.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right
Please
now.
come in now. At 1 minute, and if you want to leave when the guy comes in my
Why
bed,
yesterday you touched my wrist?
please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that.
But
Come on.
are you used to that?
Yes, come in. Here.
No, but I'm not used to that.
I won't do it again. Come on. Sit here.
Case closed. Just saying, Suzanne.
Case closed.
Can't say too much. Jen is listening, the lawyer lady.
Horrible, though.
But I like your top knot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Thank you.
So, hey, Harvey, I guess you wouldn't have been exposed in 2017 if Hillary got elected in 2016, huh? Well, an important point needs to be made concerning the continued exposure of Harvey Weinstein's sexual crimes and the finger-pointing of lefties over the wall of silence. If Hillary Clinton had been elected, none of this would have came out. Do you think for one moment that the NYT had killed the Weinstein story once we have dread to move forward, knowing that a friend and ally of Mr. Weinstein was in the White House, running the Justice Department, etc., 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 would have dared to expose a story that would have crippled a Hillary presidency? Well, You be the judge. Always in something, Hillary. Always in something. Okay. Leave your thoughts and comments below. And we'll be right back after these messages, which gonna be a while because your girl need to do some shit around the house. I love you all for watching, and thanks for tuning in. Love, peace, and hair grease.